So this video is going to be to show you guys how to measure a cell in a microscope. So the circle on the right is your field of view. It's what you'd be seeing if you were looking through the microscope. The thing to note about this is when your microscope, the objective lens is set to 4 times, the diameter of this circle is going to be 4.4 millimeters. And then when the objective lens is 10 times, it will be 1.75 millimeters across the field of view. And finally, when you switch your objective lens to 40 times, it's going to be 0.44 millimeters across the screen. And we'll see this in a few examples today, starting with the first one, a paramecium. So the first step is going to be taking this paramecium and finding the longest part. In this case, it's this end to this end, following the red line. We're going to take this longest part and estimate how many times it can fit across the diameter of our field of view. In this case, this line fits across once, and then another half time. So for our first example, we're going to assume that we're using a 4 times objective. This objective will have a diameter in the field of view of 4.4 millimeters. And these cells can fit 1.5 times across. The next step is to put this in our calculator. You'll divide the field of view length by the number of times the longest part of the cell can fit across the diameter, in this case 1.5, which means you'll get a length of 2.93 millimeters. So, for the next one, we're going to try a 10 times objective lens. This would mean the field of view is 1.75 millimeters across, but the cell can still only fit 1.5 across. So you divide the size of the field of view, 1.75 millimeters, by 1.5, the number of times the cell can fit across. In which case, if we were looking at this image through a 10 times objective lens, the cell would be 1.17 millimeters. Remember to round, because I didn't. Our final example with the paramecium is going to be our objective lens being the 40 times. The diameter is 0.44 millimeters, and the cell fits across 1.5 times. So same process, divide the field of view diameter by the number of times the cell fits across the diameter, and you get 0.296 as your length of the cell. Moving on to our next example, onion cells. Now, even though there's multiple cells in the field of view, we're going to be using this guy. So, what you do is you take this one and then guess how many times it would fit along this line. In this case, we'll show you how. So you imagine this going 1, 2, 3 times across. From there, it's the same process as the last cell. If the field of view is using a 4 times objective lens, you would divide 4.4 millimeters by 3, the number of times the longest part of the cell can fit across the diameter. Meaning this cell would be 1.46 or 1.47 millimeters long. We're going to do this once more with a 10 times objective. So it's going to be 1.75 millimeters. Then we're going to divide it by 3, the number of times it fits across. and you get 0.58 millimeters if we're using a 10 times objective lens. So after this, I'm going to leave you with an example for you to try on your own. You're going to try measuring this coral bell leaf, and it's going to be this cell right here with the arrows pointing towards it, and the objective lens you're going to use is a 40 times objective. Now you can get back to me with what you think the answers are, either this week, next week, anytime during our discussions. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Good luck on any future quizzes or tests or whenever you wind up watching this video.